Hello, today we're going to talk about coming to terms with your kidney disease diagnosis. How many of you have been told that you have chronic kidney disease? Maybe you're on dialysis now, or you will need to start in the future. Maybe you're considering a transplant. We may also have some family and friends here for support. Please have a paper and pen ready in front of you. We'll need those later on. Today we're going to talk about how to have a good life with kidney disease and what you need to do to get there. You can see how the tree in this photo has adapted to its life on a windy hillside. It has bent, but it's not broken. Kidney disease is a big life change. You do need to adapt to it, but it doesn't have to break you. When you first learn about it, or when you need to pick a treatment, kidney disease can seem like a giant wave crashing down on top of you. It's very normal to have strong feelings about kidney disease. Have you felt this way? By the end of the talk today, I hope you'll feel a lot less afraid. Often, the unknown can be the scariest thing of all. Knowledge conquers fear. The more you know, the less you may be afraid. Knowledge can help you cope and feel better. It's also very normal for people to experience depression. Depression is common in general and even more so in chronic diseases. Chronic kidney disease can make you feel sad, hopeless, and even guilty. Symptoms of depression can include causing you to lose pleasure in things that you usually enjoy, causing changes in how you eat and sleep, and sometimes even causing physical pain. Some depression is caused by changes in the chemicals in your brain. And some depression occurs when you've had a hard time adjusting to a life-changing event, like kidney disease. It's important to understand that depression can be treated so you can feel better and more hopeful. It's also very normal to feel angry that you have a disease that won't go away. You might be angry at yourself for not doing things your doctor asked you to do, your doctor for missing the diagnosis, and you might be angry at God for letting this bad thing happen to you. You might take your anger out on people around you. You might even feel guilty about feeling angry. If you find yourself doing that, stop and think about what is really troubling you. The most important thing to learn today is you can have a future with chronic kidney disease. Your kidneys aren't working right, but you are still you. You can choose to keep following your dreams. These photos are of real people with kidney failure who've had good lives for decades after their kidney disease diagnosis. Does everyone manage this? No, but it is possible, and that means you can try. Your job as someone with kidney disease is to keep a positive attitude. Get answers and find the information you need. Take action to be an active partner in your healthcare. No one accidentally lives for 30 or 40 years with kidney failure. It takes effort on your part. So, let's talk about attitude. Are your pens ready? The next few slides will ask you about how you react to things that happen to you. Why do you think kidney disease happened to you? Write down these answers on your paper. Was it A, it was what I needed to have happen? B, because of my mistakes? C, random chance? D, I seem to attract trouble often? Or E, nothing ever goes right for me? Here's another question for you. What have you learned from having kidney disease? Is it A, how to turn lemons into lemonade? B, how to overcome obstacles? C, nothing? D, to expect more bad things? Or E, I just can't win? How has kidney disease changed you? A, for the better. B, I gained some new strengths. C, it didn't change me. D, I'm worse off than before. Or E, it just about destroyed me. We've got two more questions. How often might things like this happen to you in the future? A. Never. B. Hardly ever. C. Sometimes. D. Often. Or E. All of the time. Last question. How often do things like this happen elsewhere in your life? A. Never. B. Hardly ever. C. Sometimes. D. Often. Or E. All of the time. Now, are you ready to take a look at your answers? You may be able to tell that the A answers were the most optimistic. The E answers were the most pessimistic. It's not always easy to change the way you think about things, but try to avoid generalizing, thinking that because one or two things happen, your life will always be bad and nothing will ever go right for you. Try to avoid the 3 P's of pessimism. Taking things personally, it's all your fault. Or looking at things in a permanent way, that things will never get better. Or looking at things in a pervasive way, my whole life is rotten. This is a great quote when you're thinking about living with a chronic disease. The last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. What Viktor Frankl is saying here is that you may not be able to choose what happens to you, but you can always choose how you think about it. How you look at things as a frame, like a picture on a frame. You can choose to reframe how you think about something. That's a very important choice you can make to have a good life. Many things can be looked at in more than one way. Like this picture. Maybe you've seen it before. Can you see a vase and 2 faces? Can you tell which center circle is bigger in this photo? This shows you how important context can be. You can look at things in more than one way. And here's the last one. Can you see the young woman and the older woman? Looking at these illustrations, let's think about perspective. Sometimes different people see different things. There's no right or wrong way to view the picture, just like there is no right or wrong way to experience kidney disease. When we choose to think about things in a different way, it can help us feel better about them. This little girl's behavior can be perceived as stubborn or persistent. You may ask 3 different people about her behavior and get 3 different answers. You may look at it differently when you're given a different label. This can help you think about her more positively. This process is called reframing, like putting a new picture on a frame. Reframing can help you see things in a more hopeful light. One type of reframing is thinking, it could be worse. Nick Vujicic was born in Australia with no arms or legs. Needless to say, he's had some very difficult times, including a bout with depression. But he came to the conclusion that his life had a purpose, and the purpose was to help others see obstacles in their lives as chances to grow. He had to learn to accept his situation before he could make a difference for others. Today, he has a motivational speaking company and a nonprofit organization. If Nick can do this with all of his challenges, think about what you could do. Try not to look backwards. It's normal to want to turn back the clock or step into a time machine and go back to a time when you didn't have this health problem. But you can point yourself towards the future. You'll have a better chance for a good life. There can be good times ahead of you, not just behind you. We all look back sometimes, but try not to dwell on it. Don't waste time asking, why me? There are no answers. Ask, why now? For that, there are many answers. When you catch yourself saying things like, I wish I had, or if only I, those are clues that you are looking backwards. Instead, try to focus on looking forward. People who have come to terms with their diagnosis have said things like, think about what you can do. And don't limit yourself unnecessarily. Don't assume you can't do something. Assume that you can and check with your doctor if you're not sure. In the 1960s in the USA, there was a life and death committee to determine who would receive dialysis. So reframing might look like, I am so glad that I live in the 21st century so I'm able to get dialysis. You haven't gotten to the age you are without facing some of those losses in your life. Maybe a loss of a job, a loved one, or a home. You have coped before and gotten through tough times. If you need help coping, talk to a social worker, a clergy member, a counselor, or your doctor. Having someone to talk to can help you feel a lot less alone. There are other people in the same boat in your town and around the world. Ask around. There may be a support group in your area. If not, start one. Also, look online. The internet is there for you 24/7. Your job is to ask good questions. Your doctor knows a lot about kidney disease, but you are the only one who knows how it affects you. What you know is just as important as what the doctor knows. Before you see your doctor, write down your questions so you can remember them all. List your questions from most to least important in case you can't get to them all. Tell your doctor what you know so he or she doesn't have to start at the beginning if you've been doing your homework. If you're not taking your medications as prescribed, or if you're using street drugs, please tell your doctor. It's a good idea to bring someone with you to your doctor visits if you can. You may not hear everything the doctor says, or you may misunderstand something. Write down the answers you get. Ask the doctor to spell medical terms so you can look at them later. Ask if you don't understand something. Doctors tend to use a lot of medical terms, so it's okay to ask, can you please explain that in simpler terms? And tell the doctor what's most important to you. The internet is an amazing source of health information. However, not all information on the internet can be trusted. You can sort out the trustworthy and non-trustworthy sites. Choose a trusted source, maybe a government website, from a nonprofit organization, or from a hospital. It's a good idea to avoid websites that guarantee a sure cure or that try to sell you health secrets. Here are some websites done by nonprofit kidney organizations that might be helpful to you. The National Kidney Foundation, Renal Support Network, American Association of Kidney Patients, or Home Dialysis Central. Kidney School is another free online website where you can learn about chronic kidney disease, kidney failure, treatment options, and much more. It was developed by the nonprofit Medical Education Institute, which also provided these slides today. Takeaways from today's topic. You can have a good future with kidney disease. Some people have lived for decades after their kidneys have failed. But a good life with kidney disease doesn't happen by accident. Your job as someone living with kidney disease is to stay positive. Choose how you look at things, learn all you can, and take an active role in your healthcare. Our next topics will tell you more about how to do that.